Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, subscribe, comment, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's get into it. Let's talk power. I already did a review for season 4, episode 4, but now we're talking about power. Let's just talk. Let's guess what's gonna happen. Like, what is going on? So now, Tommy meets up with Tony Teresi's boy, Sammy, and he drops off the money and all this other stuff. And Tommy confirms to Ghost that, Sammy and Tony Teresi was involved in Roberto's killing, and all that other good stuff. And so then also, Tony Teresi confirms with Sammy that Tommy Egan is the kid that they think he is. Like, so who do they believe Tommy is? Is Tommy Teresi's son? Is he Sammy's son? What's going on? And what do Alberto Stallion or Stiletto have to do with Tommy and James St. Patrick and Tony Teresi and Sammy? And then we see Tony Teresi's wife. She's upset because she doesn't know what's going on. And so we'll see what happens with that, because that sounds like it's going to be another plot in the story. And so is Tony Teresi and is Tommy Egan going to hook up, or are they going to become friends? Are they going to be enemies? Or are they going to be business partners if Tony Teresi is Egan's father? But we also know that Ghost lets Tony Teresi know that, hey, listen, you can't blackmail me no more. You can't get 20 grand a week from me anymore, because I know you was involved in Roberto's killing. And it would not be good for your wife for you to be facing another trial, because Tony tried to say, hey, listen, I'm doing mad, I got mad bodies on me already. It would only bring up my notoriety in jail or whatever, in prison. But then, Ghost being a smart person that he is, because he's thinking like Ghost, he's being himself, he's getting back to himself. And he's like, yo, listen, well, he's always been himself. It's just that it's slow moving. He's really weighing out his options. And he keeps having things coming in. He keeps having tornadoes and bombs coming in and hit him as he's trying to deal with this murder case. So anyways, Ghost lets, Tony Teresi know, hey, listen, your wife can't handle another trial while she's sick and going through all this chemotherapy and this cancer treatment. But it is kind of weird that Tony Teresi's wife is sick and she's dying of cancer or whatever. And then we know, God rest his soul, Charlie Murphy died of cancer. So it's like, was that like in the plot? Did they know or whatever? I don't know. So anyways, that's interesting. So it's just like, so is Tommy Tony Teresi's son, or he's a witness in the case, or they know something about Tommy Egan and Ghost that we don't know, that Ghost and Tommy don't know. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see how that plot works out, and how Tommy's connected to Sammy and Tony Teresi. Because was Tommy Egan a witness to the murder? Was he there, or was he friends with Roberto? So we'll see. And it's confirmed that Tony Teresi and Sammy was involved or whatever. So now that's one plot. And then the other plot is like, do we think Tasha is going to have Keisha killed, because Keisha is telling Tasha, hey, look out for yourself. And then Tasha's already been known to be the weakest link, which Joe Proctor told Tommy. And then Tasha keeps saying Keisha keeps saying negative things about Tasha to Tommy, and so concerned what Tommy's doing with Tasha that Tommy might just take out Keisha, or Tasha might put Keisha on the block to get murdered. She might be next up to get murdered or whatever, because she did kind of confirm to the FBI that Tasha and Ghost were separated and all this other stuff, which they already knew, but she confirmed it, which spousal privilege might not be able to be used for Tasha, and she would have to testify against Ghost. And maybe they might get Tasha to testify because she is the weakest link. She has the kid, she lost her shop, and she's also showing signs of jealousy. And she's also telling Tasha to look out for herself. Don't worry about Ghost, but if Ghost goes down, most likely they're all gonna go down. And then is Tasha gonna switch up? Because now money's not going to be there anymore. You know, they closed down the shop, they closed down the club. So how are they going to peddle this money? How is Dre going to, pay, Cannon? How is he going to give Cannon that $50,000? So is Dre going to him and Cristobal going to take out Julio? So Dre can get that spot and earn some more money and start slinging on the streets now, since he can't sling in a club anymore. So we'll see how that goes. And is Tommy going to, take Dre's side, or is he going to take Julio's side? Because something's going to come up. And you already know Tommy is not feeling Julio, because Julio let Domingo disrespect him. And also Julio is letting Dre disrespect him by not bringing that money to him like everybody else did on time. Then on top of that, you have Tommy thinking like, hey, Julio was with the FBI people longer, and then Julio said I didn't snitch, and Tommy was like, I didn't say you snitch, just do your job and make sure you have that money at 12 or your job is gonna be cut. So is Julio feeling like, he's about to be set up, or he's about to be hurt? Because Julio also feels that, Tommy is on a rampage, and Tommy didn't even let him know that he took out Domingo's legs, broke both of his legs. And then Cristobal, he goes to see Dre to see what's up with Dre. Why is he disrespecting Julio, not bringing his money when he's supposed to? And Cristobal's like, what's going on with you? And Tommy, what's going on with you and Julio? And so, Cristobal also says that, Tommy's acting wild and crazy or whatever. And, Dre confirms that or whatever. So, Dre is hunting for Julio's spot, but is Dre gonna try to, get Julio taken out, or is Dre gonna work with, what's his name, Cristobal, to try to get at Tommy, make shit hard for Tommy, or Tommy to get locked up or something? Because Dre knows that he has to pay, Cannon at 50 grand. And now that the club is closed, how's he going to get that money? He's going to have to go back to slanging. And the last time Dre talked to Cannon said, hey, listen, you be loyal to your daughter, not loyal to Ghost and his son Tariq. So we see Cannon don't give a fuck, but we also see that Dre is going to go talk to Cannon. Was like, Cannon, you want to be on top, you want the shit back. Are they going to change the club name, reopen the club? Can Dre open a club in his name, or can they get somebody else to open a club in their name? Because we know when a club closes down for certain reasons, all you have to do is get another legit person to be, the dummy or the straw person. You can open the club back up. So we'll see. And who would be the straw person? It could be anybody on Cannon's team, like the cop or whatever, but that'll be too much. So we'll see what happens with that. And then now we got Joe Proctor. He's not on Ghost's case anymore. So is he a liability to Tommy? Is he a liability to Ghost? So let's see if he stays around. So you got Tasha, Julio, Joe Proctor, and Dre could be next up for elimination. But it'll be kind of too soon, but we'll see what happens. And now now you have Terry Silver. He's going to be taking over Ghost's case, and I think Ghost is going to kind of like trust him now, since Terry got the traffic stop admitted, got the gun thrown out, got the traffic stop. He found the traffic stop. He got the gun thrown out. And also he talked to Ghost, was coaching Ghost like, hey, you can't come off as an angry black man, because then nobody will believe you. And then seeing Donovan come off as the angry black man, and the judge toss out the gun. So is Ghost gonna trust Terry Silver, even though he doesn't like him, because Terry Silver is judgmental or whatever, and Terry Silver is something Joe aspired to be, like legit. So we'll see how that goes down. And what evidence are they gonna have to really keep Ghost in jail now? Is there gonna be a mistrial? Well, the judge says it's not gonna be a mistrial, so Terry is going to be defending Ghost. And I think he's going to do a good job. He's going to get Ghost off, or he's going to at least get Ghost out on bail. And so with Tommy killing Bailey, is that going to come and bite him in the ass? Because, you know, Joe Proctor said that we don't know if that's the only recording the only recording Bailey had. And so it's kind of like 50-50, but that evidence that, you know, Bailey had, he couldn't use it in court because, you know, Sachs tried to talk to the judge to see if he can get that admitted, and the judge said no. But is there a way around to get it admitted? Because Ruiz, that was illegal. You know, he wasn't an official, you know, snitch, and, you know, Greg's went behind his people's back to get that recording and set that up. So we'll see. And did, you know, Bailey send that information to anybody else? Hopefully he didn't send it to Sandoval. So, because Sandoval would try his way to get it to John Marks and probably try to use that information. And so, you know, Angela went to go meet with Tasha and try to get Tasha on her side and say, like, you know, Ghost is the enemy. Like, you need to worry about you and your kids. And so possibly working together, and then also Ghost not telling Tasha that Angela offered him a deal and he declined, and so Tasha's feeling kind of slighted and feeling like Ghost is being shady about that. And also, you know, Tasha and Tommy, you know, they know Ghost be lying his ass off. So we'll see where that goes. But we know that at the end, Angela finds out that Ghost did not plant that gun or hide that gun. So now she's going to be working on to find, you know, Ghost innocent. And so it's Angela going to use Tasha to help prove that Ghost is innocent and he had nothing to do with Greg Knox's killing. And is Angela going to be able to pull that off without Sandoval killing her? Because right now, Angela's the only one on the prosecution team right now knows the truth, other than, you know, Sandoval that knows the truth. And so how come John Marks or Sachs didn't look at the security the security footage or anything like that? Doesn't make any sense. So we'll see what happens. And so with Tasha probably ultimately testify for the prosecution, but only to help Ghost if possible. So then what is Sandoval going to do? Sandoval has to come up with another angle, because now Bailey's gone. Is he going to try to say Bailey was involved with Greg and has something to do with Greg's killing? Because now Bailey's going to be, he's MIA. They're not going to find Bailey, I don't think. And, you know, Sachs knows that Bailey has some information. So we'll see where all that goes. And like I said, is Joe Proctor going to be a liability now, since he can't represent Ghost? And Ghost really trusts Joe Proctor, and Joe Proctor know all their business. So it wouldn't be good to kill Joe Proctor. But let's think about Terry Silver. How is Ghost going to be able to afford and pay Terry Silver legitly? Because, you know, Joe Proctor would take drug money, or he'll take drugs for payment. But what about Terry? Is Ghost going to be able to afford Terry legal assistance for him to represent him? So we'll see what happens with that. And then, you know, Tariq. Is Tariq going to get caught setting up these licks? Is he going to get caught? And if he does get caught, there's no money to defend him in court unless he uses his own money. And then when his mother, Tasha, finds out that he's been setting up these licks, and who will they find out that Cannon's involved, or Slim, aka Cannon, is involved? And how is that going to affect, you know, Dre? Because, you know, Tariq would probably say that, hey, you know, Dre knows Slim. He been knew I was chilling with Slim or whatever. So we'll see how that goes. And how is Dre going to get money to Cannon? That's what I want to know. And so, you know, Ghost lets, you know, Tony Teresi know he can't get no more money from him. So what is Tony Teresi going to do with this information about Egan? You know, Tommy Egan, because he wanted Tommy Egan to come and visit him. So is Tommy Egan his son or not? Or is he just a witness to some shit? Or Tommy and Ghost knows where treasure, some money's hidden, something that could possibly help Tony Terasi. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if it was a good idea to kill Bailey with his information, because you don't know who else has that information. And Donovan, the FBI agent Donovan, is he going to be framed as the mole? Is there going to be some way that they're going to frame him as the mole? But, Angela's seen that the last person that looked at the footage was Sandoval, and he didn't say anything to her, but he don't need to. But Angela might find out that he didn't talk to John Marks or anything. So we'll find out what happens with that. And then Keisha and Tasha pushing up against the wall with no money, no funds. Is Tariq going to come out with helping and supporting his family? Is that going to get him back on, supporting his mother and his father when they know that he got money? Because the kids are going to be kicked out of school if Tasha doesn't come up with payment at the end of the week. They're going to be suspended. And we know Tariq has the money to pay for school because he's making some money off them licks. But you also know that Tariq is questioning the girl that was supposed to be sleeping with him or whatever. Did Slim set you up to do this? And she was like, Slim who? Oh, no, he didn't, because now she realized that, Tariq doesn't even know his real name. His real name is Cannon. So is she going to spill the beans to Tariq to let him know that he's actually Cannon, which is Sean's father? So we'll see. And is Raina going to let the mom know that Tariq has mad money? He's been chilling in other places and he hasn't been around and skipping school. So we'll find that out. And I think, Ghost is going to get out on bail. So it sounds like it's going to be a plan. It's coming. It's all coming together. We're going to see what happens. And Bailey, he's gone. He's dead. But, Joe Proctor getting kicked off the case because he was meeting up with Tommy. So Tommy and Joe Proctor know that the FBI was watching them. So why was they meeting up in public places? This is like sloppy on Joe Proctor's part and Tommy's part, being sloppy, meeting the way that they was meeting up, knowing that the FBI was watching them, because that's why Tommy switched up his car. That's why he had his mom there at his house. And Joe Proctor knows this, but they was meeting up. And so now it became a conflict of interest, because the deal that Angela offered, Ghost, and Ghost declined. So really kind of like helped Angela. When Angela went in there to offer Ghost that deal, kind of helped the prosecution situation to force Joe Proctor out, because it was a conflict of interest, because, Tommy Egan was Joe Proctor's client as well. So we'll see. And Tommy's gonna be fucking pissed at Joe Proctor that he is off the case. And he's off the case because he's been seen chilling with, Tommy Egan. So Tommy Egan is in this mix now with Ghost's case. And, the prosecution's bringing up Tommy Egan's name to the judge. So we'll see where that goes. OMG, it's about to get crazy. And is Julio going to, make moves before Dre or Tommy make a move against him? Or is Cristobal going to hook up with Dre to make moves against Julio and Tommy? Or is Dre going to watch these two, Cristobal make a move against, Julio, and Tommy have to deal with that situation, another headache? So we'll see what happens. So anyways, peace, I'm out. This is Power Talk. What do you think is going to happen? I'm out.